Okay, we have been talking about super amino acid, arginine. We're talking last about its relationship to liver health. Arginine plays such an important role in maintaining a healthy liver that it's actually a major component of the medical protocol for treating liver injury. Arginine is a potent defensive molecule. It's a growth molecule. It's a repair molecule. It can be especially helpful after trauma. It supports a vigorous and healthy immune system. And it's helpful for improving the clearance of bad bacteria out of the blood and the digestive tract, all of which can be helpful in the case of liver injury and in the case of liver disease. As you know from listening to this program, many people, 1 out of 3 Americans, it's estimated, is suffering from non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD. Now they're calling it NASH, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, which is basically a fancy way of saying non-alcoholic fatty liver. Arginine is a go-to liver molecule, molecule for improving liver health. It's a building substance. If zinc is the preeminent building mineral and vitamin A is the preeminent building vitamin, arginine, super amino, is the primary preeminent building amino acid. Now, I don't want to digress too much. I want to stick to our topic, arginine, and really as it regards osteoporosis and building. But I think because of the very important relationship between super amino acid, arginine, actually all amino acids and protein, and the health of the stupendously important organ called the liver, next to the heart and brain, probably the most important structure in the body. There's a really close relationship between proteins, amino acids, and arginine in the liver. So I think it's important that we just touch on a couple of points. Last we talked about the role the liver plays in helping the body process sugar when we eat starches and sugars, especially foods that have high concentrations of sugars, desserts, breads, fruits, fruit juices, cereals, pastas. After the saliva acts on these foods, and this is one of the most important reasons why you want to chew your food really, really carefully. Saliva contains sugar metabolizing enzymes, and the sugar digestion process actually begins in the mouth. So after you've worked on your bread and your pasta and your potatoes and your cereals and sweets, etc., with your saliva, and they make it through the stomach, and they enter into the intestine. They get blasted with enzymes from the pancreas. This is the major place where sugar metabolism takes place, in the top part of the intestine. The sugary foods, the breads, the starches, after they've been processed in the stomach, they go into the intestine. The pancreas shoots out a bunch of enzymes, and then the sugars get broken down and broken down into their tiniest components, and then they get absorbed into the blood. It's very, very, very important that the digestion of sugars in the intestine occurs quickly, and that it occurs completely. Sugars that sit around, or sugars that are incompletely processed, can become food for bacteria, and this can result in fermentation in the intestine, and that is a very, very, very bad thing. Once bacteria begin to feed on these digestive sugars, these dietary sugars that are incompletely broken down, and the fermentation process starts to kick in the intestine, big problems, huge health problems can result. In fact, I would go so far as to say that almost all long-term degenerative health issues have this carbohydrate fermentation component, incompletely digested sugars that are sitting around in the small intestine. Because of the nature of these sugars and these carbohydrates as fuel for bacteria, microbial fuel, incompletely digested sugars can lead to bacterial overgrowth. The technical name for this is SIBO, S-I-B-O, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and it is a big time, major health issue. If you feel gassy or bloated, or if you have any digestive discomfort after you eat bready, sugary, starchy kinds of foods, potatoes and pasta and cereals, chances are you're dealing with bacterial overgrowth issues, or SIBO. Now, by the way, heartburn after you eat these kinds of foods can also be an indicator of fermentation by bacteria, as heartburn can be caused by gases that are emanating from these bacteria as they overgrow and as they munch on the sugars that are sitting around. This idea of fermentation and gases is very important. Actually, there's a couple of things that can happen once bacteria begin to overgrow in the intestine. First of all, bad bacteria can begin to crowd out the good bacteria. And good bacteria are super important for making vitamins, super important for helping the intestine process food. Good bacteria process food themselves, process fats. Good bacteria help process hormones like estrogen. Good bacteria contribute genetic material. If bad bacteria start to crowd out good bacteria, this can predispose the body to lots of health problems, including nutritional deficiencies, including fat malabsorption, and including cancer. This can also predispose the body to fungal infections, fungal proliferation, yeast infections. This is actually one of the main mechanisms of chronic yeast infections. If you've heard about the problems associated between sugar intake and chronic yeast infections, now you know the mechanism. Sugar intake leads to sugar malabsorption or incompletely digested sugars, and that is where fungus can overgrow. And because of this idea that the right types of bacteria are important for processing foods, for healthy digestion, for making nutrients, SIBO can also lead to more malabsorption, more digestive health issues, and you end up with this vicious cycle of digestive difficulties and vicious cycle of toxicity getting into the body. All right, hang tight. Got more to say about this when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You are listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We're coming back right after this. Don't go away. All right, welcome back to The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. Thank you for being here. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time. If you like what you hear, tell your friends. This is The Bright Side, the good news about health and nutrition that says that whatever your health challenges are, if you begin to adjust digestive health issues, if you begin to work on blood sugar issues, if you begin to work on cortisol and adrenal health issues and thyroid issues, everything in the way of degenerative disease can be reversed. That is the good news. That is the bright side. That's because the human body is built to heal. It's built to regenerate itself. You can witness it every time you cut yourself, every time you get a paper cut. You can witness that healing process kick in as your skin cells start to complete or close up the cut. The same thing happens inside your body. If you're not healing, if you're degenerating rather than regenerating, it's simply a matter of figuring out what is burdening the body and keeping it from being able to do its work. And we talk about that every day here on The Bright Side, Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time. If you know somebody who's dealing with a degenerative health crisis, give them the information. Tell them about The Bright Side. Tell them to tune in. Tell them to check out our archive page as well at brightsideben.com. We got, 3.5 years, so almost 4 years worth of archives at brightsideben.com. We've got lots of YouTube videos. I'm actually doing a YouTube series with my friend Amanda Ride Out on skincare. If you're interested in signing up for that and getting email posts we do them every week. If you're interested in getting email posts, send me an email, ben@ksco.com, and let me know that you want to be on the mailing list for our skincare videos. I'll also be hopefully getting a newsletter out here. I've been trying to do it now for a couple of months. If you're interested in that, you can also send us an email, ben@ksco.com. If you've asked me questions via email and I haven't gotten back to you, I apologize for that. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to answer everybody's questions I get between Facebook and phone calls and messages and emails. I get several hundred a month, and it's very difficult for me to get back to everybody. So if I haven't gotten back to you, put on the feel free to send me another note and put in the subject heading second or even third, or hopefully not, but even fourth request if you've tried to contact me multiple times. Okay, our number today is 855-660-4261. If you've got questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, if you want to get off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, questions about the longevity products, success stories, love those success stories. And I know they're out there because I talk to you in person. So if you have a success story, please be generous and share it with listeners, share it with new listeners especially who may not have heard some of these ideas. Our number is 855-660-4261. Of course, if you want to join the Bright Side Ben team and help me in my mission to educate the world about the importance of a good nutritional supplement program, please call the Bright Side Ben phone team at 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470. Also going to be doing weekly calls starting this Sunday with my friend Dixie. We'll be doing those every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. They'll go about 15 or 20 minutes. We'll be answering questions and then talking about various topics, and that'll be every Sunday at 7 p.m. If you're interested in learning more about that, again, send me an email, ben@ksco.com. Okay, we'll get to your calls here in our next segment. A couple more things, actually quite a bit I want to talk about. Probably not going to finish everything today. We'll continue doing this tomorrow. If you're dealing with SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, bacteria overgrowing in the intestine, pretty much any health issue Any health issue can follow bacteria, as we were saying before we went to break. Bad bacteria can begin to crowd out good bacteria. That can predispose you to more digestive problems. It can predispose you to chronic yeast infections. It can cause malabsorption issues. And you can get this vicious cycle of this downward vicious cycle where bad bacteria lead to digestive problems, lead to more bad bacteria, lead to more digestive problems, lead to more bad bacteria, more digestive problems. There's a really important relationship between IBS, ulcerative colitis, and pretty much all intestinal health issues and small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And there's also a really important connection between blood sugar problems and diabetes and what they call dysglycemia, which means messed up blood sugar, and small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, as you can imagine, because of the relationship between sugar processing and bacteria. SIBO is actually pretty common in folks who have diabetes. And not just type 2 diabetes either. Patients with type 1 diabetes are also more likely to be suffering from SIBO, and that's true, by the way, of all autoimmune diseases. As you know, if you've been listening to this program, autoimmune diseases of all kinds, multiple sclerosis, type 1 diabetes, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, whatever your favorite autoimmune disease is, they're all linked to digestive distress, and there is no autoimmune disease without some kind of digestive distress component, and there is no digestive distress component without at least some gut bacteria problem. In fact, I would say it's a good bet that if you're dealing with any health challenge that's not reversing itself, that's not healing, if you're dealing with any degenerative type health issue, which is really all health issues except for infections, dysbiosis, which is science talk for messed up gut bacteria, is always going to be involved. And then there's an important link between blood toxicity and SIBO. Blood toxicity, poison blood, and small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Not a week goes by where I don't talk to somebody, usually multiple people, who are having kidney problems, kidney disease, or who are on dialysis. It's like an epidemic. Dialysis and kidney disease are an epidemic. And if you go to the doctor, he's going to tell you got a kidney problem or you got kidney disease, and they're not even going to tell you that until it gets too messed up to do anything about it. The idea with kidney disease, you want to keep track of it as your kidney function is starting to degrade. Kidney disease is a classic sign of messed up, toxic, poison blood. And all you got to do is understand what the kidneys do for this to make sense. The kidneys filter the blood. The kidneys are like a spaghetti strainer for the blood. If you keep pouring dirty water in your spaghetti strainer, eventually your spaghetti strainer is going to get messed up. It's going to get clogged. And that's basically what kidney disease is. It's a messed up, clogged up spaghetti strainer. So what does that tell you? Well, it tells you that if you got a kidney disease problem, or if you're on dialysis, you got dirty blood, you got to start cleaning out the blood. And one of the first things to do to clean out the blood is focus on the digestive system, especially in terms of SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Bacteria secrete toxins, they secrete poisons, they secrete wastes as they overgrow, and eventually these wastes are going to make it into the bloodstream. When this happens, there's going to be huge problems. The technical name for this condition is endotoxemia. Endotoxemia is more science talk. Endo means inside. Toxicity or poisons. Emia, blood. Endotoxemia, poisons inside the blood, poisons within. Endotoxins are poisons within, as within the blood, and eventually poisons within the blood are going to become poisons within the tissues. Once bacterial poisons and toxins and waste material get into the circulatory system, the blood's immune system becomes activated. Remember, the blood is the sacred space. It's the holy of holies. Nothing is supposed to get into the blood unless it's been tightly regulated, highly processed, and selected intentionally by the immune system, by the cells that line the intestine. Nothing is supposed to get into the blood inappropriately. Once bacterial toxins get into the blood and the immune system becomes activated, the result is an activated blood immune system, and that means clotting, and that means stickiness, and that means dirty blood. And it's a huge, huge problem. Are you guys beginning to see what's happening here? This is all occurring at the onset from incompletely processed carbs and an overloaded sugar processing system. If you have any health issues, SIBO, dysbiosis, and sugar intake should at least be looked at. And there's one very interesting, I don't want to say disease, but health condition that a lot of people are dealing with and nobody seems to know what to do about, and it has a very important connection to SIBO. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're coming back after this. Don't go away. Okay, we are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Tomorrow I'm going to tell you about an interesting health condition that seems to have physicians all confused and nobody seems to know what to do about it, but I'm going to tell you what to do about it. I'm going to tell you, first of all, I'll tell you why everybody seems to be confused about it, and we'll tell you what you can do about it, and that'll be tomorrow on the bright side. And as you may surmise, it has something to do with SIBO and digestive health, as everything pretty much does when it comes to degenerative health crisis. I hate to sound like I'm beating a dead horse and I'm a one-trick pony here, but that's just the truth, man. That's just how it works. That's just how the body works. The core of the body is the digestive system, and once toxicity gets into the body and the digestive system breaks down and we don't absorb our foods and allergens and toxins get into the blood and we don't absorb our nutrients, what do you expect? What else can we expect? And then we go to the doctor with our symptomology, and the doctor tries to treat the symptomology because nobody's thought to link these things to the toxins that are getting into the blood and the secondary malnourishment, and nothing gets done. And that's why nobody's happy with how, with the medical model's responses to degenerative disease. But if you listen to the bright side and you take in what we talk about here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, there's absolutely no way that you can't reverse whatever your degenerative health crisis is. And by the way, reverse it quickly, not necessarily completely quickly, but begin to reverse it quickly because it's in the body's nature to heal and regenerate. Okay, our number today is 855-660-4261. If you're interested in joining the Brightside Ben team and helping spread the word about the importance and power of a good nutritional supplement program, if you're interested in being a good person and helping people who are having health crises, if you're interested in helping people who have been just so frustrated by the medical model they don't know where to turn, if you're interested in really making a difference in your friends' lives, in your family's lives, in your life, in the lives of strangers and neighbors, please, I encourage you to give the Brightside Ben phone team a call, 866-735-2470. Tell them you want to join the Brightside Ben team and then start to participate in the longevity program. Get on the phone calls, listen to the Bright Side, participate in all the wonderful information because longevity is as much an information and educational company as it is a product company and an opportunity to make money, and begin to change people's lives. You can find out all about it by calling the Brightside Ben phone team at 866-735-2470 or hitting that Join the Team link at brightsideben.com. Okay, time to hit our phones, 855-660-4261. Don in Georgia, welcome to the Bright Side. What's going on?
Hey, Ben, how you doing today?
Good morning, buddy. How can we help you?
I called last week about this rash I'm dealing with, and I've been working out, but I've realized I've been trying to do elimination to see if there was any type of foods that were making it flare up, and sugar seems to be the culprit.
Did you hear the beginning? Did you hear the beginning of the program today?
Yes, I did, and you pretty much answered the question from the beginning of the program.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah, because I would wake up in the morning and I just tried to use elimination. I'd wake up and the first thing I ate a couple of mornings ago was a brownie. And Lord have mercy, after that brownie did my arms and everything itch.
Isn't that awesome? You just healed yourself, Don. You just took care of yourself without doctors. It didn't cost you a penny. And here's the thing. If your immune system is reacting in your skin, it's also reacting inside your body. So by eliminating those kinds of foods, you've now added years to your life. You've reduced your risk of further degenerative disease or autoimmune disease or, God forbid, cancer. And you've increased your energy levels, and you've basically upregulated every single marker of good health that you can name simply by eliminating those kinds of foods. You want some more ideas? Other things I can help you with? I can give you some other ideas too.
Yes, also, and if you could give me some ideas on herpetic conditions, because I'm thinking that might be connected to it also.
Do you have herpes?
Yes.
Okay, oral, like genital herpes?
Type 2.
Okay, so here's the deal. Herpes is a sign of a activated or overloaded, I should say, immune system. And that would make perfect sense. Your immune system is burdened. So you can reduce, once you have the virus in there, it's going to rear its ugly head when it's an opportunistic virus. So when it has an opportunity, that means when your immune system is stressed out or burdened, that's when you're going to break out with a cold sore. So here's the deal, or with a herpes sore. So here's the deal. Number one, you're going to kill two birds with one stone. In fact, you're going to kill all birds with one stone simply by helping your body body processed sugars and then ideally eliminating them wherever possible. So step number 1, chew your food, especially your breads and your carbohydrates and sugary sweet foods and cereals, potatoes, those kinds of things. In fact, anything that has carbohydrates in it, make sure you're chewing it slowly and paying great attention to the salivary process, because digestive enzymes in the saliva begin the breakdown process of those kinds of foods, and that can reduce the load on the digestive system further downstream. Secondly, get on pancreatin, Pancreatin. Pancreatin contains special enzymes for digesting. You get that at the health food store, by the way. Special enzymes for digesting sugars, and also the ultimate enzymes for longevity can also be helpful for helping you digest sugars. Then you want to make sure you're using a good probiotic supplement. You know I love the Biolumin Nightly Essence. Take 3 in the morning, 3 at night. And of course, you're going to also want to make sure that if you can wean yourself away from these kinds of foods, that's ideal. But if you can't, if you're finding it hard to wean yourself off of carbohydrates, try to just slowly eat smaller and smaller amounts every day. And then instead of having a whole brownie, have a quarter of a brownie or a fifth of a brownie. And then replace the calories that you're taking in from sugars and from carbs and from cereals with protein and with fat. Combine protein and fat together. You can use whey protein, and if you use a whey protein that has a little bit of sweetener in it, like stevia, that'll take care of your sugar craving, and the whey protein itself has lactose in it, which is kind of a sugar. So whey protein is a great way to wean yourself off of sugars. Mix your whey protein with coconut oil and with maybe some essential fatty acid liquid. That helps improve the taste of the whey protein, and it will also make it more satisfying. Don't try to use willpower. It's very, very, very difficult. So maybe a quarter of a brownie, then an eighth of a brownie, then a 16th of a brownie, and then replace the rest of the calories that you're getting from the rest of that brownie with protein and essential fats. So you got lots of things you could do there, Don, but congratulations. You just doctored yourself, buddy. You just took care of yourself, and that's what it's all about. We got a bad connection, bro. I'm gonna have to let you go. We got a bad connection. God bless, man. Thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate it. That's what I'm talking about, you guys. He didn't have to go to a doctor. In fact, if he went to a doctor, he'd probably leave with an antidepressant or some kind of drug, steroid drug that will suppress his immune system. And that's what this is all about. I love those success stories. Okay. Let's see. John in Michigan. What's up, buddy? Welcome to the bright side. How you doing?
Good, Ben. My question is concerning Dramamine and the effects it has on the body. I was recommended by a vet to give it to our dogs when we bring them across country to calm them. And if that's
it'll calm them. It's a sleeping pill. It's not exactly. It's not exactly, but it's in the same type of family as Benadryl and Sominex and all those kinds of pills. It turns out that the chemical that helps you sleep, or chemicals that help you sleep, also calm down the nausea. The nausea reflex, if you will. There's a center in your brain called the nausea center. Technically, they call it the emetic center. Emesis is the chemical, or the fancy way of saying nausea. And it turns out that antihistamines actually have a calming effect on the emetic center. In fact, if you have really, really, really bad nausea, like morning sickness nausea or chemotherapy type nausea, they'll give you something called promethazine. And that's a type of antihistamine. INE usually involves an antihistamine type of drug. Dramamine, I forgot the chemical name for Dramamine, but that's a type of antihistamine. I'll look it up during the break. That's a type of antihistamine, and it has a calming effect on the body and also calms down the emetic center, the vomiting center. Hang tight, John. We'll finish up when we come back from our break. And I'll tell you another interesting way that you can calm down nausea as well. Not for your dog, maybe, but for adults, for humans. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We're going to take a break and come back with your phone calls right after this. Don't go away. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. Let's see. John in Michigan, real quick. So Dramamine is a type of antihistamine. It's actually a derivative of Benadryl, which is another antihistamine. If you do have any kind of nausea issues, morning sickness kinds of things, ginger root is a great antiemetic. And also something called Emetrol, Emetrol, is another antiemetic. Antiemetic is an anti-vomiting medicine. Pretty much any really super mega sweet things will help quiet down the vomiting center in the brain. That's why they used to use Coke syrup. I don't know if you remember that old-time remedy, Coke syrup, which is just the syrupy, sugary stuff that comes from Coke, and that all those kind of super heavy sweet stuff kind of materials tend to calm down the vomiting center in the brain. Is that now? It's just to calm your dog down, right? Not for vomiting. I take it, right, John?
keep them from
John?
and also if they're nauseous, looking out the window, it could make them nauseous with motion sickness. And so all of it
yeah, that's basically what Dramamine.
Okay, so that'll be a beneficial thing that we can do if it's necessary.
Yeah, it's not great. It's a drug, but yeah, it's better than having a sick dog, definitely. That's what I would do. I remember I used to get motion sickness. When I was a kid, I used to get car sick all the time, and I was praising God for Dramamine, let me tell you. And that was when I was a kid. So, yeah, it probably wasn't good for me, but a heck of a lot better than being nauseous, which is obviously a miserable experience. Does that help?
Yep, it does. Thanks, man.
Okay, take care. And for humans, chewing on ginger root can be very, very helpful, even if you have morning sickness that's nausea related to morning sickness. Okay, Bethany, you've been holding on forever. What's going on? Welcome to the bright side. Bethany in New Jersey. How you doing?
Good. Okay, so I gave birth 2 months ago, and
congratulations.
Thank you, little girl, Charlotte.
First baby?
Yep.
First baby?
Yes, first baby. So my anxiety is out of control, and my mind is
let's calm you down. Let's calm you down a little bit, okay?
Right.
Couple things. Instant calming down. Instant anti-anxiety treatment, not medication, but treatment is slow, deep, diaphragmatic breathing. And when I say slow, I mean 15 seconds on the inhale, maybe 16 or 17 or 18 seconds on the exhale. You probably won't be able to do that first when you first start, but work your way towards that. And remember, the exhale is really where the calmness comes from. The inhale actually activates the sympathetic or stress nervous system because oxygen is a stressor in a way. And then the exhale, when you're blowing off carbon dioxide, blowing off toxicity, that's where you activate the relaxation response. So make sure that you're a slow, deep diaphragmatic breathing. Step number 1. Step number 2, immersion in water. Immersion in water is an amazingly calming experience for the body. It's like taking us back to the womb, Bethany, just like your baby, taking us back to the womb. So showers and hot baths and hot tubs, another great way to to reduce anxiety. Then from a nutritional standpoint, the B vitamins are your anti-anxiety vitamins, especially vitamins, all the B vitamins, but B12 is especially calming. Make sure you're using a liquid B vitamin so you get the benefits quickly. The Beyond Tangy Tangerine is excellent for the B vitamins, for water-soluble B vitamins. Also, by the way, niacin, timed-release niacin, which is vitamin B3, has some wonderful anti-anxiety benefits. Omega-3 fats can be calming, and so can magnesium. 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of magnesium has a very good calming effect. Lithium orotate is anti-anxiety, maybe 10 milligrams or so of lithium a day. Let's see, GABA. You might want to take that before bedtime because that'll help. Are you familiar with GABA? That's got some anti-anxiety properties. Let me think. There's a few other things that you could probably take. Something called theanine, which is found in green tea. That's got anti-anxiety benefits, THEANINE. And then making sure you're staying away from anything that whacks out your blood sugar, including coffee, which can have a negative effect on your blood sugar, and also certainly sweets and dessert type foods. That can also be a problem as well. If you do eat, you go off the wagon and you find yourself munching down on brownies or cakes or sweets, some kind of sweet foods. If you want to mitigate the effects of the sugar on your anxiety, drink a lot of water, and that'll help dilute your blood sugar.
There's one more question that I have, though, if I could ask it.
Sure.
Okay, so it feels like my mind is like racing.
Well, it's all part of the anxiety. It's all part of the anxiety.
Fast forward. So the thing is that it's like my fight or flight response mode is like so heightened that I'm anxious all the time. I'm fleeing and everything.
Yes,
so
I got it. Everything I just told you. Listen to the tape. Listen to the archive and jot down everything I told you. If you do what I just told you, your anxiety will disappear. Poof. And by the way, one more thing. Progesterone cream or pregnenolone and/or progesterone cream and/or pregnenolone tablets, 100 milligrams a day, have wonderful anti-anxiety benefits. Everything I just told you, Bethany, is the answer to your question. If you listen to the archive, if you didn't catch it all, I know that was a lot of information. Listen to the archive, write down everything. Even if you do just partially what I told you, you'll notice a significant difference. Okay? And by the way, protein is also anti-anxiety macronutrient, so eating more protein can be helpful too. Okay, got to move on. I hope I helped you, Bethany. Congratulations, too, by the way. That's awesome. Okay, let's see. Don in Missouri, what's going on? Got a couple more minutes here. How you doing?
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
I got a question here.
Sure.
I noticed that I had a bypass operation about 3.5 months ago, and in my right ear I can hear a heartbeat, like it's inside my ear, but on the left side I don't. Could that be a carotid artery?
There's no way to tell once they do the bypass. That changes everything in your circulatory system. I wouldn't worry about it unless you had some symptoms going on, unless you have some other symptoms. But you might want to mention that to the doctor because it certainly could be an indicator that something is wrong in the circulatory system. Okay. As far as nutrition goes, there's wonderful nutrients that you should be doing, especially the B vitamins. Super mega important for the heart. Sip on that Beyond Tang. Get on the Healthy Start Pack. That's what I'd be doing. Okay?
I got a couple other questions real quick.
Real quick. What's up?
That my heartbeat at night, sometimes it'll beat 3 or 4 times and skip a beat, then it might skip 5 or 6, skip a beat, then it may beat 20, 30 times before it skips another. Is there any vitamins or anything that's good for that?
It sounds like you have some kind of stress response going on. Lots of them. There's no vitamins, and that's an important question, actually, Don. It's not like you take vitamins or minerals or supplements to heal or target a specific area of the body. We want to take care of the entire body. We want to make the body healthy, not the heart healthy, the body healthy. You see the distinction I'm making here? The medical model wants you going hither and thither to the heart and to the thyroid and to the skin and to the liver and to the various structures of the body. That's not how we do it here on the bright side. On the bright side, we focus on the health of the entire system and then let the system take care of the heart, or let the system take care of the thyroid or the esophagus or the stomach or all the other parts of the body. So get on the Healthy Start Pack. That's a must-have. Sip on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Not an option. Probably a good idea to get on the Biolumin Nightly Essence as well. Probably a good idea to get on the Ultimate Enzymes with your meals, especially for the circulatory issues, because it can help thin the blood. It wouldn't hurt you to go to the health food store and get 400 international units of vitamin E a day. Very important for heart health. Same with coenzyme Q10. If they didn't tell you about CoQ10, Don, they're negligent at best. At worst, they're worse. We'll leave it at that. Coenzyme Q10, 100 milligrams a day. Look for the oil-soluble version of coenzyme Q10. Get a book called The Sinatra Solution. He talks about using carnitine. Dr. Sinatra talks about using carnitine, magnesium, as well as coenzyme Q10, and I think something called ribose, as I recall, for heart health issues, but also for overall health, for electrical conductivity in the body, which means the entire bodily system. So there's lots of things you could do. Staying away from sugar. Deep breathing is very important. And when you run out of oxygen, that's going to tweak out your heart. That can cause a skip in the beats. That can cause a stress on the cardiovascular system. So slow, deep breathing. I know I'm saying the same thing to everybody, but we all have the same bodies, and our bodies break down the same way, and our bodies get healthy the same way. So no matter what the health issue is, it's always going to be the same things. Digestive system, blood sugar system, nutritional supplement program, making sure you're focusing on deep breathing and calming down the adrenal system. And then, of course, there's the whole spiritual, mental, and emotional aspects of health and wellness that we don't talk about anywhere near enough, but those have to be addressed as well. So God bless you, Don. Good luck with everything. I hope we helped you. I want to see if we can get Julie in real quick. Julie, welcome to the bright side. What's up?
Hey, thanks. Good morning. Hi, Ben.
Good morning. Hey.
Hi. So I'm trying to make a connection. Well, anyway, thank you for everything you're saying. So a friend, their 1-year-old has Prader-Willi syndrome.
Okay, got it.
And they have them on fake growth hormones. They got the baby on growth hormone. Is that what you're saying? Yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, here's the deal. It's a genetic issue. Prader-Willi is a genetic issue. You know what? We're out of time. Can you? Anyway, I get you to call back tomorrow, and I'll put you first up, and we'll address this first up. We'll address the first thing. I appreciate it, because there's a lot of stuff with Prader-Willi, which is kind of a neurological issue that occurs at birth. But there's a lot of things you could do. So we'll talk about that tomorrow on the bright side, and then I'll tell you about this health challenge that so many people are dealing with. The doctors seem mystified by. We'll tell you how you address what it is and how it's related to the digestive system and what you can do about it. That'll be tomorrow on the bright side. Thanks so much for listening, folks. Check out my website, brightsideben.com. Hit the Join the Team link and join me in my mission to educate the world about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. Bye for now.